Hello, everybody. I'm iPie for fun. I'm going to be commentating this. We couldn't find a commentator before, and I just woke up, so sorry if commentary's bad, because I don't really know what I'm doing here. But anyways, welcome to round two of this race, and yeah, I'm going to attempt to commentate. Match is going to be starting soonish, I think. So yeah. Looks like we might be getting one of the developers in here actually to help commentate. So that should be interesting.
Hello, gamers. I don't have anything planned after that. I didn't write a script.
Hello, everybody. We now have Gurr here.
I don't know a lot about this
Cheeser.
game. Not gonna lie.
He's one of the devs for the game.
I've played it a few times.
Just a few.
Oh, looks like Laurie's getting ready to start now.
Yes, we should be starting here any second.
Pretty sick. Click here, yeah. Time starts like once after this first text box. I think it's something like that. Do we count them down? Can they hear us?
Probably.
All right, let's give them a little countdown. All right, you guys ready? And 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh,
I don't think they can hear us.
I thought you just meant. Never mind. We're gonna give them the countdown in Discord.
Oh, in Discord.
Yeah.
Okay. Where is that? All right, let's just give them the countdown.
All right, we are giving them the countdown. All right, we just gave the countdown.
Okay.
So, any second now, they should start.
Let's see. Right. Oh, there we go. There's
there we go.
All right. The race is on.
The race is on. It looks like Laurie.
There is off
just
to,
stood there for a little while.
Yeah. There is off to an early lead. It has an okay remote code.
So what they're doing right now is they are grabbing a controller and going up to a window so they can see the buttons on it for a code to access the computer.
And everyone plays now with colorblind mode on, since that reduces the randomization of the number order.
Yes, if you don't play it on colorblind mode, all the numbers have a different color, and you also have to figure out which color or like the order of the numbers based on the color. But colorblind mode just kind of makes that easier by eliminating that factor.
Like the order that the colors need to be in are always the same. It's always blue, green, red, yellow, but the order they appear in the remote dialogue is different.
Anyways, both players now going to the basement to grab the light bulb. Durr already has it and has equipped it. Laurie is going to pick it up currently.
Mm-hmm. Have you guys ever wondered why you can't run on the stairs?
Yes, actually.
Well, that's because the stairs aren't like, this game doesn't really actually handle stairs or diagonal movement. So every step on that stair is an event that makes you move diagonally. And since it's like a little cutscene for every step, that you can't run during that. That's why no running on stairs. It's also why there's no stairs like that anywhere else in the game.
That's funny. Anyways, we have Durr now at the Barrens, and Laurie just entering it. What you're going to see on Durr's screen is he's going to be fast traveling a lot. Looks like he messed it up right there.
Oh dear.
But the runners are going to be fast traveling. They're going to be walking to different locations, and then they're going to be fast traveling out of them, and occasionally back into them again. This is called super fast travel, and it's a way of just kind of moving faster. I guess.
Since the fast travel points are normally set in the middle of the area, so it's sometimes faster to fast travel to it than just walk there.
Anyways, both players now talking to ProfitBot. I know what I'm saying. It's very important. There's a very important dialogue choice to make here, and it's that they need to ask about the computer, because you have to have this dialogue to move on.
And then they need to not pick anything else.
Yes, which is actually kind of hard to do.
And it's different from Solstice too. I don't know if you've ever run Solstice, but
I personally have not.
In Solstice, you have to pick every option. You can't cancel out of that dialogue. It's
Nice.
kind of a bug that we've never bothered fixing. Since the setup for the dialogue is slightly different.
Yeah. Both runners exiting the dream sequence now. We have Durr trying to make a crowbar by flattening a pipe, and Laurie just talking to Nico. There's a weird mechanic in the dreams, like the beds. Like in each area, you have to sleep. It's required because Nico gets really tired from running around all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But in each of the beds, you have to sleep, and there's a certain tile where if you talk to the bed, Nico will just immediately like walk into the bed and sleep. But any other tile, if you talk to it, he'll have a little cutscene that plays where he goes and walks around to it.
Yeah, there's like one tile that Nico is supposed to enter the bed from, since that's where it looks most appropriate for Nico to walk into the bed. And so if you start in that tile, Nico just walks straight into the bed, but otherwise Nico has to navigate to that tile first and then onto the bed.
You see now Durr talking to the right side of the little chain right there that was blocking the cave. This is important.
Silver walks a little less.
Yeah. It lets Silver walk a little bit less, and since you can run and Silver has to walk, it saves a few frames there. Yeah.
Well, one thing about the beds that in the original one-shot, like the freeware one, you could sleep as many times as you wanted. It was kind of a mix-up that in Steam, you can only actually sleep in the beds once. But in Solstice, that was changed, and that Nico can sleep in the beds as often as Nico wants. But there's no dreams in Solstice because it doesn't make sense story-wise.
We have Laurie now about to craft the battery. If you saw Durr, he did it very successfully, which is the menuing here is very hard to do. There's a lot of dialogue boxes that you have to mash through in the process of menuing, and it makes it very easy to slip up. We have Durr now entering a safe code. It's looking fairly good so far.
It's not too bad.
Not too
4 and
bad.
5 aren't too good, but
2 1s and a 2 and a 7. It's pretty good.
I think the best safe code you get would probably be like 0000001.
Is it impossible to get 0000?
Yeah, it's impossible to get all zeros, since that is what the safe code is before you get that document, and it's how the safe code knows you don't actually have a safe code.
Nice. So the safe code is actually randomized, if that wasn't obvious by now. And I didn't see what Laurie got, but the way to find out what your safe code is after talking to the computer, after turning on the power, you have to go and open a document in your documents folder to find out the safe code. So, yeah, fun mechanics.
Yeah.
Anyways, Durr here entering the infirmary to grab a syringe.
Mm-hmm. These outside maps in the Barrens used to be very, very laggy when I first joined the project. Like they would get like somewhere between 5 to 10 frames per second. And that's because I don't know if you've noticed in the Barrens, but there's a lot of sparkly tiles in the water areas. And those are all animated NPCs, since the RPG Maker engine we were using didn't support actual animated tiles, so we just put animated NPCs there.
Cool. We have Durr now finishing crafting the wet sponge and is going to go talk to Robot to clean it off and then get another quest to go and get an amber.
Gotta go and find the amber. Oh, and here in this amber sequence, or get the amber, there was before, like an original freeware version, and also like in a previous version. Right now, there's like a break between when you get the amber and when the chess scene starts, and in that, like when you after you hit the amber, the item get jingle plays. But originally, the whole scene was just one continuous scene where it would just go straight to chess, and then after chess, the item jingle would play. But we changed this since it didn't really make the item get jingle makes more sense after right after you get the amber, and it also makes the chess team seem a bit more optional if you talk to silver, even though it's not, since it's forced if you try to leave.
We now have Dur exiting the Barrens and entering the next section of the game, which is the Glen.
Oh yeah, the one thing I like about the Glen is this stupid little building right here. This doesn't exist for any purpose other than to show this panoramic image of Nico entering the Glen. Like we were thinking of like different ways to show this, like maybe the boat would go inside an inner dock, but that didn't really make sense, so this building was added, and that's the only reason it exists.
That's funny. We have Durnet.
Yeah, it's kind of a sequence break that you can just like fast travel past the Calamus trigger there.
Yeah.
Doesn't affect anything sequentially, like story-wise, but
yeah,
it's an interesting skip there. Since normally you have like a short cutscene where you can hear Calamus talking off screen on that bridge when you enter the forest area.
Dur fast traveled in and out of the forest area, which brought him a lot closer to Calamus, and as Gur just mentioned, skipped the cutscene where Calamus talks to you. And Laurie will be doing that same thing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Calamus, what you want to do is you want to try and talk to Calamus like 1 or 2 tiles above him, because if you go any further above him, like in the straight vertical line, he'll actually walk to you before initiating a conversation, and that's slow, and we don't like to be slow here.
Yeah, I think the slowest you could do is probably if you're like at the very top of the map or at the very bottom. Calamus will walk all the way to you just to say hi.
Dur just left the light bulb over by Maze. That's to retract some vines and make it possible to free Alula. So Dur's about to go and free Alula. There's a tile puzzle that you have to do.
You don't really get like the solution via the wallpaper, but this solution is set, so you can just do it just by memorizing the solution.
Yep.
And also, like, as you can probably guess, the setup for this tile puzzle here is very similar to what we see later in the tower.
There's this central theme of light bulbs or something.
Oh, it's just the mechanics for it are pretty much copy and pasted from this puzzle.
Yes.
I'm glad. One thing not a lot of players know about is that once you get Alula here, and if you go and talk to people in the village or just in the Glen in general, there's a lot of bonus dialogue since Alula will now say things in certain descriptions. And it's only possible when you have Alula in your party.
They're talking to the Demon Ram. What Dur is doing currently is the Ram puzzle. Slightly different strategy than from what I know. But I don't know. I don't really know which one's faster. By completing the Ram puzzle there, Dur gets the wool, which he can then go and talk to the shopkeeper. And it's important to an extent that he makes sure to select the first dialogue option to take the wool, because otherwise he'll get more dialogue and then also get a shirt, potentially, on top of that, which can sometimes mess up a little bit of menuing. They're also making sure to confirm the option to go with Calamus and Alula to their home. This is important because if they don't do that, they lose a lot of time because they have to end up going there anyways. And the cutscene to travel there is just a lot faster than trying to walk there yourself.
Yeah, there's a few choices in this game that are just choices so you feel like we let the player feel like they have more control of what they're doing, but really they're just taking a different route to mandatory content.
So Dur is now going back and grabbing the light bulb. Again, this is mandatory, but if you don't do this when you go to the where the gatekeeper is, where you can leave, Nico will just
reminded.
Yeah, you'll get reminded and be like, "Hey, aren't you forgetting something?" And it won't let you continue on.
I think that's the only part of the game that actually checks for light bulbs. So if you could somehow get past that gatekeeper, you could leave the light bulb behind.
I have tried. I did a lot of testing. Well, not a lot, but I did some testing to see if it was possible, and I have not been able to.
Yeah. For the most part, events in this game are not easy to break. The only exception being the kip skip,
which we will talk about when that comes. Dur here finishing up the second dream sequence, equipping the feather pin, and going to talk to the guard robot here, who just wants you to sign some documents or something.
You gotta fill out your paperwork.
Yep. A whole quest in this Glen area was just to get a pin, so that way you could sign your name.
It looks like if you don't want that happening in real life, just try and carry a pen on you. Also, are both players playing the game on like the RAM disk?
I don't know. I actually don't know what each player's setup is, so...
I think how the game loads the sound effects for when the square spawns in, normally you can see a little dip in performance otherwise. So, since how it loads the sounds is a little inefficient.
Dur has now entered the refuge. So, storyline here is that the elevator is broken because a button is missing.
Is this one of the areas where you can't actually fast travel to the middle without going to this cutscene first?
Yes, you have to go and talk to the lamplighter here, otherwise you won't get the fast travel location. Yeah. And it's very important that you get the fast travel location because it is used a lot. It is much faster to fast travel out of each of these side areas here than to try and walk it. Anyways, Dur just got the coffee can and is heading over to sleep right now. Laurie has just made it to the refuge.
So this is the third sleep in the game.
So interesting thing about the bed location, it's the only room in the game that doesn't have a fast travel location in it. As in, you can't fast travel into it, but you can fast travel out of it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
How that works is, for most indoor locations, we have a little event on the map that says turn off fast travel. And that's what lets the game know, like, you're indoors, you can't fast travel right now. And similarly, for the maps that you can fast travel to, they don't turn on fast travel, but I guess they do, but they also have the event they run turns on fast travel and lets them know that this is a fast travel point. There's one other map that really should be a fast travel area that isn't, and that's the mine, like right outside the mines in the Barrens. But we didn't add a fast travel point to that, so that area is, as far as the game is concerned, an indoors area, even though it's not.
Dur has just crafted most of the ground button. He still has to go and talk to a tape dispenser to tape it up. Because if you don't and you try and just use the cut up coffee can that says ground with the magnets, it will fail and you'll get an item that says you tried.
Yeah, it's a fun little item.
They're successfully talking to the tape dispenser, not over talking to it, which can be easier said than done. Now he has to enter a security code into the elevator. I'm not exactly sure where this number panel is, but
Yeah, it's just you're just saying the numbers out loud, maybe. Since actually, if you know how you can let Lamplighter figure out the code on his own.
yes.
Yeah, he's saying those numbers out loud too, so it might just be a voice-activated system.
Right here, Durr is talking to the lamplighter. Now it gives you an option of three. It gives you four dialogue options. I know what I'm saying. The very last one is to return to awkward silence, and what that will do is that'll just kind of skip having to talk to him, and just maintain a very long awkward silence, which is longer than just actually going through each of the three dialogue options.
And then also here, I think there will be fast traveling to the back alley.
Yes.
Which will skip the Rue dream here. And also it means like the back alley will never get its special music that it normally has.
Durr is preparing now for the Kip Skip.
Oh, looks like that was successful.
Yeah, that looked successful. What the Kip Skip is there's a cutscene that plays typically when you try and enter the, like, I don't know exactly what it's called, part of the library.
The back part, I guess?
Yeah, the back part of the library, like behind the front desk. Or, it's not even really in the front, but behind the desk. And, like, what will happen is a cutscene will play, and the robot there will be like, I'm sorry, if you have business or whatever, you gotta make sure to have a card or something. And we found out that if you exit the game while walking onto the tile where that activates the cutscene, the cutscene that plays when you come back when re-entering the game after exiting will actually override the cutscene that typically plays when you try and go into behind the desk.
So you override like the barrier there, basically.
Yes.
The unfortunate part is I have to do this skip twice.
Yes, they do.
Because the cutscene isn't set to like put you outside of the desk. It's set to make you walk backwards one step.
And each time they do this, if they actually exit too late in the walk, they will actually soft lock. So
if someone does that, they instantly lose this race.
Yes. Unless both players do it, in which case it's just kind of
gonna be a really long race.
Yeah. Yes. It looks like Laurie got George 4, and Durr, I think, got George 1. I want to say George 1 is second fastest, and George 4 is fourth fastest. I may be wrong about this.
I'm not sure of the times.
I am not either. Durr is finishing up with the refuge and going into tower.
Yeah, this is probably one of the more execution-heavy areas of the game in terms of the speedrun, besides just pure mashing. Lots of movement in the tower. I don't know what the optimal route is to the computer here.
We think it's walk roughly right for 4 seconds and then kind of down.
Since you can reach that computer from going like either northwest, northeast, southwest, or southeast.
Yeah, this room actually loops that Durr was in, and you just have to find the computer in it, but it's in a diagonal, which kind of makes it awkward to find.
Yeah, the room's supposed to be big enough that you can walk in one direction and not find it. So it's like just big enough to allow for that, so you can get a little bit lost in it if you don't know where you're going.
Laurie successfully doing Kip Skip. Accidentally traveling to Elevator Street instead of Vendor Street. Durr is going on to the fun part of the tower. Right now, typically when playing it your first time or just any time, what you will do is you have to have a separate program open, a little window that as well as having like story exposition will show you the correct route that you have to go through these hallways and then these doors. Except they're always the same, so we just kind of memorized where we had to go. If
That'd be
Laurie was
fun if we made it random.
please don't.
I'm gonna put that in the next patch.
If Laurie was here right now, she would just probably say the long number that is the order of the doors that you're supposed to walk in. But she's not, so y'all don't get to hear that.
Yeah.
Dur is now onto the tile puzzles.
A lot of people get confused in the second one since they don't realize that you don't need to do the last two of the top row. So I've seen a few people like being like, I've done the puzzle, why isn't it working? Like, no.
This last one here is the light bulb. This is probably the hardest one to do execution-wise because it's a lot of diagonals. And diagonals when running is actually very hard to do. As you can see, Dur slipping up here and trying to fix it. Does a very good job and then slips up again. Oh, can you do it? Oh. There we go. And when you just do one misstep, it can... sometimes you can easily fix it. Sometimes it means that for the rest of the puzzle, you're just kind of going back and forth, trying to fix everything.
Yeah, you can get stuck in a loop where you have to go back and forth to try and fix the puzzle. This is the second place where you see the only diagonal stairs in the game.
Yep. Back in the house, but not really. Here, what's happening is there's little pop-up messages that are coming up. And Dur is just having to spam enter through them. Except you can't see them.
Yeah. But if you can see them, it's based on what kind of capture mode you're using.
Yep, and I think Dur's using game capture, window capture or something,
so
but not desktop.
What time do you think Dur is going to get right now?
I don't know, because I don't actually remember how long this elevator sequence is.
They're getting in at like 25, 30.
26-ish?
Yeah. I think it'll be like a 26 something.
Yes.
Laurie is still working on the tile puzzles in the tower.
Just got to him.
Oh.
Alright, let's see. Oh, Laurie's slipping up. Dur here, coming in, choosing to return the sun with a time of 26:06.
Not bad.
Dur choosing the light mode theme. I'm going to go ahead and switch audio over to Laurie.
Yeah.
Laurie slipping up on the light bulb puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Quickly fixing it, though.
I don't know if Laurie turned on her audio.
Yeah, it seems to be mute.
Yeah. So I guess that means...
Just switch it to Dur again.
Yeah. So that means Dur has won this.
Yes.
Dur is the winner.
Laurie on the stairs.
The safety stairs. Oh, it
turns on the computer. The computer, I believe, has, what, 3 different static?
Yeah, the TV has 3 different possible static images it can use. It also was kind of a pain to put in because when you leave the room, it has to turn off the stream noise it's making. And then when you come back in, it has to turn it back on. Otherwise, like the static noise would just continue to play for the rest of the game.
Laurie just got past the part where you had to spam enter. The enter button by default is actually bound to the same action as the menu, which is not fun because then you're just spamming through the pop-ups, and then you just open your menu. So most of us, we unbind the menu from enter when we do that. Laurie is going to finish now with a time of 28:13, choosing to go with a dark mode ending.
Yeah. That's the game.
Yep.
And in the dark mode ending, Nico can only walk downwards, which is an interesting thing to try and implement for that, at least in RPG Maker.
Yeah.
Basically, what happens is as you leave a tile above, as you go down, the tile below you becomes a solid tile, or the tile above you becomes a solid tile, which basically just forces the player to the bottom of the screen.
Yeah. What ends up happening in the ending that Laurie got is Nico actually just walks off of like the window altogether and just walks across your computer screen just off to the bottom and just walks off the taskbar.
Yeah, Nico will walk off of the monitor basically, but Nico will walk until they get far away enough that they're not visible anymore. So if you had a really tall monitor, Nico would walk for a while.
I guess we should get the runners in for interviews or something.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
I also do not know how this works.
Maybe there's something on the controls. Let's see. Also looks like durrbill just closed the game. And Laurie is putting memes on her stream.
Laurie, why?
Yeah, it was pretty good runs. Hello.
Hello.
Oh,
Hello.
good. We have the runners here now.
Yeah. Good.
Now we can talk about. Oh, never mind.
Nope.
Sorry. Bye, Laurie.
Bye, Laurie.
No. Oof. All right.
All right. So, anyways, how does it feel to win so hard that Laurie rage quits the interviews?
Oof. That's just mean. I'm not a boy. That's Spacer's job.
Mm-hmm. And did he mess anything up this run? Looked mostly clean besides some of the puzzles.
Yeah, it was. I messed up pretty hard in Barons with like fast travel and a few other tiny things. I lost like 15 seconds total through the run, which is pretty bad, but good enough, I guess.
Yeah.
The first run was pretty good. 25:53, which is only 10 seconds above my PB. That's not too bad.
That's a good time.
Yeah, pretty happy with that. But I'm gonna have to do a lot better if I want to beat
Crudes?
Yeah, whoever gets into the next round.
Oh,
Either Crudes or whom.
Yeah, those are two are next.
Yeah, because both of them could easily beat me with the times I'm getting.
You gotta step up the mashing game.
Yeah, definitely. And Crude's got like 25:23 today, which is
Yikes.
nuts.
Yeah.
20 seconds below my VB. So he could pretty easily destroy me if he does well.
Yeah.
But I could still get it though if I manage to have a really good run.
It's pretty close. Like it's definitely possible.
Yeah, I'm excited to see their match though. Crudes versus whom?
Yeah, when's that again?
That's tomorrow.
Uh,
I'm not sure what time. I'd have to check. Sometime tomorrow. Let's see. That is at 5 p.m. Eastern.
right.
5 p.m. Eastern. They're gonna be going tomorrow. That'll be pretty pretty damn close, if I were to guess.
Yeah, should be a good race.
Mm-hmm. That'd be cool. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah, same here, I think.
5 p.m. Yeah. All right.
So what do you enjoy most about running text matching the game? Since I don't personally think I would ever run OneShot as a game just because it's so much text matching.
It's very linear, but I think I like that because of how much it dumbs everything down to being just about execution.
Yeah.
Like how fast you can do these incredibly simple inputs. Like mashing is just hitting 2 keys over and over, and fast traveling is hitting like 1 key after another. They're all very simple, but it all comes down to how quickly you can do it based off of muscle memory and all that.
Right.
And I really like that.
And I suppose there's not too much RNG now in the run.
Yeah, there's the safe. The
Unless
safe
you
and
do.
code. Yeah. Oh yeah, any percent glitchless has a pretty rough RNG.
Yeah, the light puzzle is a pretty great one.
I hate that thing. I messed it up like 3 times the first time I tried any percent glitchless.
Oh. And it's like I think like 10 try, like the game gives you 10 tries to do it, which is like, I think it's just enough times that you can pretty much always get it.
Yeah.
The right strats.
Yeah, I'd say there's a variance of like 15 seconds from the worst to the best possible.
Mm-hmm.
But right, more than that, but around there.
So it's a shame you guys can skip it now in this any percent.
I'm such a big fan of that. I joined after. I started running this game after that was found. I would hate to have that be a default in the run.
Just get a golden split because you got all yellow lights.
I would hate that. Yeah, that was found really early though. I think like only a couple of days after the game was launched, or at least.
Was it found that early?
I think so. By Roadcrosser.
Oh.
Yeah, their last run was ages ago.
Yeah, Road doesn't run it for a while.
Yeah, they haven't. Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah, it was a good race.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll cut it here.
Yeah, that's it.
Upcoming though, we have a link to the path of randomizers that are currently going on Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 4, as well as a few more that are going to be upcoming. Looks like some Celeste on Speed Gaming 2, round 8. Looks like some Ori in the Blind Forest on Speed Gaming 2 in about 10 minutes, and some other things that you can find on the Speed Gaming website if you want to look at the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Alright.
That's it.
That being said, goodbye.
Bye.
See you.